You are listening to an exclusive on Pod Hub Network. Your city, your podcast.
To the delight of this crowd, McClendon marches down the dugout steps with first base.
McCutcheon's throw. The runner breaks to the plate. Here's the throw. Wow. He is out. The Buccos win it. That ball's hit well to left center field. Back toward the track. And that ball is gone.
You are listening to the North Shore 9 podcast. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, make sure to watch NS9 Live every Thursday on Twitch and help support by becoming a patron. Let's go Bucks!
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to NS9 Live. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we got Tyler and Jim. Boys, what's happening?
Hoping we make it through a show without talking about Bryan Hayes missing first base, because I've heard enough about it.
Well, let's pack it up. We're done.
Right. There goes our good, bad, and ugly segment.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. No, I heard you're pretty tired of that, Tyler. I saw it.
I'm incredibly tired of it, especially because it's Hayes, and I like Hayes.
True.
Like, if it was Eric Gonzalez, I'd be piling on that thing.
See, I think the fact that it's Hayes, I can just laugh at it, you know? Whereas, like, if it was someone else, it would be like, this is just absolutely pathetic. But
like
since it's Hayes, it's just like, haha, this is just the most Pirates thing in the world. Of course, like, our best player in a decade would do this, you know? So, I mean, I'm not really tired of it. I'm tired, I guess, of seeing it over and over again, but I don't know, it just makes me laugh at this point.
I'm annoyed that he lost a home run.
Well,
Yeah,
since we can't
talk
about it, Tyler, I mean, honestly, let's compare it to the Will Craig situation, since all three of us are on here at the same time now. And I guess that's kind of like what you guys are getting to. Because it's Bryan Hayes, I'm kind of there as well. Like, it's Bryan Hayes, like, son of a B, you know? Like, it had to be Bryan. It had to be on the home run. It had to be that. But to me, it's like, it's over with. I don't look at it as, like, the biggest blunder in the world. I look at it as, like, I don't know, just like aggravated, but move on.
It's a physical mistake.
Right. But like with the Will Craig thing, I'm like, that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a mental error. I don't really see the Hayes one as a mental error.
Well, it was, but
I think he just missed the base.
Not to like that degree.
Still a mental error. You've got to know that you didn't touch it and go back if you know that you didn't touch the base.
Yeah, he was digging out of the box.
He was, yeah.
At least he didn't watch it. Well,
he
didn't. He should have pimped it.
You still got to touch the base. Like, I mean, it's pretty basic.
I'm
basic
looking at positives here, Jim. Shut the hell up.
The positive is that he took a Walker Buehler pitch and roped it opposite field over the Clemente wall. That was.
I think that
that's
that entire
positive
thing could have a good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah,
that entire play
in one play. And Walker Buehler gets the out, not the home run.
I actually considered making my entire good, bad, and ugly all based around that one particular event, but I decided otherwise.
Well, do we go into it?
Let's just go into it.
Our good, bad, ugly. All right,
let's go into it.
Let's get this video going.
Time for the good, the bad, the ugly.
All right, guys. So, who's gonna start here? Let's start with our goods, I guess. We'll go around the horn. Jim, you're first. Tell us your good over this past week.
All right, I get to go first. So, my good is Bryan Reynolds. The dude's just absolutely on fire. He now hit his 10th home run of the season today. So finally, the Pirates became the 30th team in baseball to have someone hit their 10th home run. So that was nice to get on the board there. But no, I mean, if you look at him and compare him among other center fielders in particular, he has the highest wins above replacement of any National League center fielder. That's including Mookie Betts, right? So
Mookie's not a center fielder.
Well, according to
Neither is Reynolds.
he is, but yeah, I'm just looking at this. But
I guess technically speaking, Reynolds also is not a center fielder, so
yeah, he's playing center field.
Right, and that's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as all center fielders in the National League, Bryan Reynolds leads in WAR, which is pretty impressive, considering just we all kind of were going into the year trying to figure out what Bryan Reynolds was. Was he 2019 Reynolds? Was he 2020 Reynolds? Was he something in between? He's now looking like he's better than 2019 Reynolds. I mean, the dude's just absolutely raking. He's getting on base at almost a 400 clip. He's on pace for 25 to 30 home runs, and I mean he's well on his way he is well on his way to a 5-win season.
Crazy.
He's my good.
Just like they pencil him into the 3 spot, you can pretty much pencil him into the good every week.
Yeah, he's back to his rookie self, where it was, how he just never went into a slump. He just always looked like he knew what he was doing. He was putting up good at bats. He was picking up hits. He's back to that now. It seems like he's incapable of slumping at this point. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not looking to trade him. Like
No,
Twitter thinks.
no, Tyler, no trade.
No, I am not.
Well, what's your good?
I know I just said I didn't want to talk about it anymore, but I'm going to talk about it. My good is, shout out Marshawn Lynch. Brian Hayes' is mentals.
Oh, his
He
mentals.
took care of his mentals. He made a mistake.
I don't know. Is he
What's
taking
do?
care
He
of his
just
chickens
ropes the
too?
next. Taking care of his chickens. He makes a mistake. That's something that, I mean, a softer individual is going to shit down their leg and mope over it for a little while. He just rips the next one in the center field. He just continues to hit. So that's my good, is just another week of saying that Brian Hayes is the real deal.
Can't go wrong there. I like
It
it.
really is. Yeah.
Well, since Jim took my Bryan Reynolds, I'm going to go with my boy, of course, Adam Frazier. Still hitting. He's still good. Still leading in doubles, still leading in hits. Like everything that we've been talking about for Adam Frazier for like weeks now still exists. That's what's surprising to me and good as well. Like there really hasn't been the drop off yet. Like you haven't seen Adam Frazier where it's like, okay, this is going to go bye-bye, right? We're going to hit reality again. Like Adam Frazier's still doing it. He's still batting .329, on base .391, right? You talk about WRC plus 140, which I think is good for like 25th in MLB at this point in time. The guy's doing it. The guy is doing it. And as we'll probably talk a little bit here, he's doing it and doing it and doing it well. Shout out to LL Cool J. But also now, there's maybe some need for Adam Frazier on another team. We've heard the Yankees. Now Nick Madrigal goes down. 6-day DL, torn hamstring. The White Sox, a contender, might need an Adam Frazier. So he's doing it, and he's doing it at a perfect time right now where like his trade market is heating up potentially. So very, very good, Adam Frazier. Please stay healthy.
Can we just like agree every week it's going to be Frazier, Hayes, Reynolds is
Basically, that's it.
and then every other week, whenever Keller has a good start.
Yeah,
Ooh,
right.
Yeah, we can get to that too. Maybe he doesn't have another start.
If he's still in the majors.
Yeah. But no, I mean, everything you said is right. Frazier just keeps doing his thing, just keeps hitting. He keeps getting thrown out on the base paths.
We're not going to talk about that. This was the good. We're not
consistent.
talking about that.
But no, the dude's hitting. He's hitting it well. Yeah, and he just keeps rolling.
You are correct, though, just to bring it up. He is awful on the bases. Completely awful, and I don't get it. It's not as if he's been this awful. He's terrible everywhere except hitting. But I'm cool with that because hitting's very important. He's on his way to a 2-WAR already. He's on his way to a 4-WAR season. So I'm cool with it. Whatever.
He's playing an okay second base. He made a nice play today.
It's gotten better. The beginning of the year was terrible. The base running has stayed terrible. The defense, I feel, has gotten better. So you're right, Tyler. I harp on him a little too much on the defense still.
It's fine.
It is. It's fine.
If he's it's fine if he's gonna hit the way he is. I mean, if he's not hitting the way he is, then it's not fine. But it's fine considering how he's hitting.
That's very fair.
He is the worst defensive second baseman in baseball, though, according to Fangraphs.
Fangraphs defensive metrics stink.
As does Adam Frazier. But to the point, I will say that could be a lot to include it. The beginning of the year, like those first 2 weeks were just completely abysmal. So a lot of that, I'm sure, is still carrying weight. You know, if you take out those 2 weeks, I'm sure he's probably right below average. And again, for what he's doing, that's good enough.
Yeah, it's fine.
Trying to find what another website has on it, but we can continue. No, other website says he stinks in the field too. Damn it.
Shocking. You know,
I was really hoping that like I could use a defensive metric against him.
That eye test also kind of says he stinks in the field.
I know, but if there's one stat that's going to be different across the board, it's that one. Defensive whatever.
Yeah. All right, let's move on from the good. Let's get to the good stuff. We'll go to the bad now. Jim, what's our bad?
The bad, I'm going with the Pittsburgh media whining about Bryan Hayes not being made available to the media immediately after the game so that he could spend one last night with his dad who was in town before flying out. You know, they got their quote from Hayes at like 2 p.m. the next day. I just don't understand what the huge ordeal was. It doesn't make any sense to me. And whatever Hayes said was just so non-monumental that it like didn't even register as a blip in the news. Like they tweeted out his quotes and that was it. No one actually cared what he had to say.
Sure didn't.
Yeah.
Just go into Nardo.
Part of the thing here, I kind of stayed mum a little bit because I can partly understand. I'm going to play devil's advocate here a little bit, okay? So I can understand the writer side to a degree where if I'm going to be at my best, I want all the tools and everything at my disposal, right? Mm-hmm. So I can understand that completes the story, right? It would complete the story for you. You have all the tools you need to make the quote unquote perfect article that you want to put out, right? Without the quotes, it's imperfect, right? But no one has those quotes either. You know, you're left with the same information everyone else does. And on top of that, like what I just feel is I think the bigger issue per se, no one really cares so much. And the reason people don't care is the fact that all these players are so coached up on what to say that everyone knows exactly what's going to be said. Everything is the PC way. Everything is plain Jane, nothing. There's like 5 people in like all of sports that you actually anticipate and want to hear. Like if it was Zach Greinke, right? That's different. I want to hear Zach Greinke because he's going to go off the wall and say, I don't know what. To Bryan Hayes, he's going to keep it very general. Very, well, you know, I tried my hardest and things didn't work out. And next time I'll try harder. What does that add to your story? You already know what he's going to say. I already know what he's going to say. I don't care what he's going to say. Does that add anything to your article? Like, that's where I think I'm at with this.
I mean, if you need a quote from him about that play or write a story about it, you need to become a better writer. The play spoke for itself. He missed the bag. It hasn't happened in like 40 years. Do you really need a 2-sentence quote from him to talk about what happened?
The story was there. You made it. He provided you everything you needed for that night. You have clicks from
Go
national.
Back to your creative writing class.
Yeah. But like everyone's zoned in right now on Pittsburgh sports to find out and read about Bryan Hayes. The quote's not adding to it. They're coming. Write it.
Yeah, but it's about accountability and blah, 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 blah.
See,
it's the accountability. It's the nutting way.
to go back what I said on Starbucks.
Damn it.
To go back what I said on Starbucks. If this was Tyler Anderson, if this was Cahill, whomever, a veteran, there's a difference. With it being Brian Hayes, with it being, and again, not so much younger in the terms of age, but experience-wise, you made a mistake that hasn't been done in, as Jim pointed out, 4 decades. I'm cool in this situation, sitting this one out.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I didn't know that Brian Hayes has spoke to the media yet this year. That's how little I pay attention to these interviews. What difference does it make this time?
But that's just the thing. Like, I'm okay sitting this one out and coach up your boy. You made an error this bad. Let's sit down. Let's talk about it. Talk to him tomorrow, which is what he did. And again, what did we gain out of it? Not much. Nothing much.
Jim's catching on.
Was Jim looking at the stat cage page? I don't think we're there yet.
I saw him start to smile.
So anyways, I guess, can we move on for there, or you still want to talk about something, Jim?
I'm sure we'll trash.
That was it. That was my bad.
All right.
I'm sure we'll trash the Pittsburgh media members enough.
What's your bad, Tyler?
I hate to do it again, but it's got to be Mitch Keller, man. He's bad. And you guys, we talked about it in the group text earlier. The fastball's flat. It goes back to no conviction. You can't be a starter in the majors and go less than 3 innings. It's just not working. At some point, something's got to give. And you guys mentioned it earlier. Could be his last start. But something's got to give here because, my God, I don't know how much more I can watch of him.
Yeah.
100% agree.
Nothing to add. Nothing to add.
He was bad today. He was bad last time out. He's been bad all year. I think he is the second worst earned run average in baseball, second worst whip in baseball. Surprisingly, the worst person is also a Keller, Brad Keller for the Royals. Not a good year for Kellers, by the way.
The other Keller that's in our minds right now.
But no, I mean, at what point now, the ERA is now over 7. He's made, I think today was his 12th start. 12th start? 12th start.
Yeah, this would have been the even one.
I mean, at what point do you just say, you know what? We can't keep throwing you out here anymore. Like, something's got to give. I mentioned, yeah. Like, I think
you're killing our bullpen.
Yeah, I think he needs sent to Indianapolis for a little bit. I didn't think I was really ever going to say that this year about him, but at this point, I think you've got to do it.
I mean, what happens though if he's bad in Indianapolis?
Well,
then you know that he sucks. I mean, at that point, he's
you're
getting
bad.
answers.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow at that
it's
point.
Not the answers you're hoping for, but you're getting answers.
My bad really should have been the Pirates not using spider tack, as it seems like he could use it.
His spin rate was down from his average on all 4 pitches today. Not a ton.
He needs more
but
spin.
It was down a little bit. But yeah,
it's just like to your credit, Jim, when you said like you never felt you'd be saying this, but did we really feel he would be this awful at this point of the season? Like when those first 2 starts were bad, I feel like we felt like that was the worst. He might still be working through things and not as good, but maybe he has like a 5 ERA at this point in time. The fact that he has like a 7 ERA still at this point and how awful he's been, I'm with you. Like there's a point where, just work through it in the majors. Like, this is a write-off season. Nothing really matters. Just work through it in the majors. But like to Tyler's point, you're not just like affecting yourself. You're affecting the rest of this team now. Like the bullpen had to come in. You lasted, 3? What was it now today?
Sorry, I'm 2 2/3.
Yeah, 2 2/3. Like, so now I got to bring the bullpen in. So now you're like affecting other people around you. We can't keep you here. You ain't doing it. You're not a major leaguer right now, and maybe it's something in his head, maybe whatever, he has to work on things. Let him do it in India at this point in time. He's not hurting the big club anymore. We can go about our business.
Yeah.
You work on what you need to do until you're ready to get back up here.
Yeah, and we're at a point now where I know that pitch counts are going to be probably looked at a little tightly this year, but he still hasn't made it 6 innings.
No. Even in the good starts.
That's bad.
Like the good starts.
Yeah, his good starts are 5 2/3 at the most.
Yeah, again, he's just been bad, like flat out bad. And it's just, you hate to see it because he was such an important piece going into this year, and he just has not figured it out at all.
No.
Yeah, and I mean, his first year he got the strikeouts, but every year since, he just doesn't miss bats enough. He might get the strikeout numbers, but they barrel him hard when they do.
I think the reason why he's getting the strikeout numbers is because he's just facing so many batters. Like,
yeah,
the outs that he's getting are strikeouts, but everything that's not a strikeout is, it's getting hit hard.
Right, but I mean, you go back to his rookie year when he had like a 7-something ERA and a really low FIP. He was like, oh well, just BABIP luck. Nope, they just hit him hard.
Yeah, this year it's not even that. This year it's
no.
Yeah. So this is where, the Ks per 9, right? This is where I get you. His Ks per 9 is 9.67, but he's striking out only 22.9% of the batters. And you're right. It's like, because he faces like 12 guys an inning. So to strike out one of them, it's not that difficult.
I mean,
you're facing the pitcher every inning up, Although today you're just hit off him.
Guys are making contact on like 81% of his stuff. In the zone, almost 89%.
Oh my god, that's elite hitting right there. Like, that's a Frazier type. That's like Kevin Newman type contact skills. And this is just
like everyone turns into a 2-out hitter against them, or a 2-strike hitter.
Jeez, yeah, that's not good. But honestly,
it's just crazy to see. Like, yeah, I mean, his rookie year, again, the results weren't there, but like everything that you wanted to see was there, right? And this year, the results aren't there. He's not looking good while doing it. It's just gone downhill. And I don't know the best route to go at this point. I don't know if you maybe say, hey, I still want him to pitch though. So like, I wonder, I don't know if you maybe move him to like a bullpen role. I know he's never done that before, but maybe something new, and where he can just maybe focus on a couple things, and not have to worry about going out there every fifth day.
Strikes.
Right, exactly. But I don't know if that's something you do, or if you just put him down in Indy, let him pitch once a week, and let him work on. Maybe he needs a new pitch. I don't know, because that, like you mentioned, that 4-seam fastball, it's so flat. Hitters are crushing it.
Now that there has been some talk about that. Go to a 2-seam now.
Do you maybe learn a cutter, or do you? I mean, do you learn a cutter? Do you learn a 2-seam? Something with like that movement that would be coming like in on right-handed batters, because right now he doesn't really throw anything like that. It's just so flat.
Yeah, and you can't even go like the Charlie Morton approach of just curveball, 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 because he's not throwing that for a strike either. People just are killing him.
We haven't gotten to the ugly yet, guys.
I know, but I was just like,
so I was considering Keller for my ugly, but
I figured, but
Tyler bumped it up to bad. So.
Jeez, I can't wait for his ugly.
I don't even want to call it ugly anymore. It's just
we're talking about like the second worst pitcher in baseball, and that's just the bad.
Yep, I've got something worse.
Well, anyways, I'll go to my bad. It's not bad in that sense, but it's not good. I mean, we've been waiting and anticipating for the health to return, this lineup to return. Colin Moran gets called up. Colin Moran's looking nice. This lineup's looking like I'm not going to go nice and for Pirate terms. It's nice, right? It's nice to have this lineup back. Oh, but then Colin Moran gets injured. He goes down. That's not good. So I'm going to go bad. It's not ugly to the degree because it sounds as if it's not terrible. He had x-rays. Seems like everything's okay. I don't know how long he'll be out for. So that's good. Otherwise this could have been an ugly, right? Colin Moran going back down for who knows how long, a broken hand. So it seems like he'll return, which is good. But still a bad for me. No Colin Moran in the lineup again. Here we go.
Dude, I don't know how that thing wasn't broken because when they cut to it on the camera, it looked broken. There's like that big ass lump.
Yeah.
Yeah, it swelled up real fast on him.
I've had something similar. It wasn't on a baseball field, nor was sobriety an emphasis, but my hand swelled the F up one day. And I actually have you can see some there, but I thought my hand was broken as well. I mean, it was huge. I went to the ER the next day and it was just a bone bruise. So I'm hoping that's what it is for Colin Moran. But still, even with that, that hurts. And as a batter, that's gonna take some time to heal still. But yeah,
especially the way he came back too. He was swinging the bat well. I mean, even his outs were hard.
Mm-hmm.
Bases loaded, 2 outs after 3 walks, and he hits the ball hard and it just goes to the left fielder. It's like, all right, we might have something going. 1 through 4 might not suck. Yeah. They might be watchable for half an inning. And then shit hits the fan.
Yep. So I guess we'll move on to the uglies now. Man, this is very disappointing. This is going to get worse. Jim, what's your ugly?
All right, my ugly. There are 141 hitters in Major League Baseball who qualify for the batting title, and Kevin Newman ranks 141st in OPS and weighted runs created plus. So officially, he is the worst hitter in baseball. I mean, the dude sucks. He's playing great defense. Which is the only reason why he's even a passable major leaguer at this point. He actually has a positive wins above replacement because of that defense. But holy crap, I don't know what's happened to this guy's hit tool. He has zero power. He's not hitting the ball hard at all. He's making contact, but it's just terrible contact. And yeah, it is all turned into a 491 OPS and a 40 weighted runs created plus.
38 now after today.
Oh, after today, yeah, it even went down. 38 after today. That is the worst in baseball.
It's like watching a guy that is just trying to not strike out by any measure. And that any measure is just pop up weekly or ground out.
It's a bunt every at bat.
Yeah.
It's a bunt.
He'd be better off bunting every at bat. He might beat that out.
It really
You're not
is
wrong.
Disappointing. I never envisioned him being this bad. Period. Ever. Not once ever did I think he would be this bad. Of all people, I felt like he would at least have this skill to at least be a major leaguer. Like where Cole Tucker, you envision and wonder if he'll be a major leaguer. He'll make it. I've always felt Kevin Newman will at least be a major leaguer, whether it's a backup, utility player, whatever. He's in the big leagues because he at least can make contact and he can hit to that degree. You can't even do that. And he didn't come with too much else. You talk about the bag of tools, Jim, the other day. He had no other tools. It was one. That was it. And it's broke.
He broke his tool.
It was a Craftsman, and Sears is out of business, and they came and fixed it for him. Actually, I don't even know. Is Sears still a thing?
I think there might still be a Sears every. Well, no, there's no Sears here. But
that's the issue, right? There's nowhere here to fix it for him. So, man,
it's disappointing.
I'm just trying to find what his average exit velocity is this year.
Why has he looked it up? The thing I want to bring up with him too is the huge anomaly of him is you mentioned how he's still like at least not a negative WAR player. His defense has gotten so good. He's on elite level defense. His defense was so bad. Like coming up to the majors, right? His first year here, his hitting was outstanding. His defense was bad, and it's completely flipped. Like, did he maybe, and I know it's stupid to think and say, but like, did he maybe just forget about hitting and just work on nothing but defense and improve that? And he's been so good defensively now that he forgot how to hit.
He's literally the best defensive shortstop in baseball and the second best defensive player in baseball.
Think about that. This is Kevin Newman we're talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, on the bright side here, his weighted on base average is 223. His expected weighted on base average is 269, which is still lower than last year, but there's some room for improvement there, boys.
It's because he's breaking the charts. They don't even know how to calculate.
Well, yeah. 269 is still like the bottom 5 of the league.
Yep, still worse than last year when he had like a 54 WRC plus.
Correct.
God.
Hey,
Average exit
improvement, fellas.
Average exit velocity. Did you find it? 84.9.
Mitch Keller goes up far higher than that. Maybe that's the fix. Have them both go down and just face each other. Only the best survive.
Due to simulated games, Mitch Keller versus Kevin Newman. See what happens.
One of you guys are going to figure it out.
Reminds me of my friends talking about playing backyard football one-on-one, calling it Tebow versus Tebow. Oh my God. But yeah, man, like, and here's the thing too. So obviously 130 games, his rookie season, which was incredible. We talked about last year was a lost season. We get that. And that's what we kind of figured maybe was wrong with Newman. Kind of like with Reynolds, and we see Reynolds back. But when you look at last year and this year, we're at officially 100 games. It's 100 games. And he's looked awful in every single one of those 100 games. I don't know what to expect of Kevin Newman at this point in time. I don't believe he's a major leaguer anymore. And I don't think that's so much of a hot take. Like he's entering Cole Tucker territory.
He's living there.
Yeah. I mean, 491 OPS, 38 weighted runs created plus. That's just not acceptable.
He's a pitcher.
You can't do that.
You're right. You're a pitcher. Actually, I saw someone put out there today. I forget who it was, but Julio Urias has 10 RBIs on the season, and what? He's got. Oh no, it's vice versa. Kevin Newman has 10 on the season, and Urias has 7 as a pitcher. That doesn't tell you anything.
Well, Urias got to face Keller, so there you go.
Kevin Newman doesn't. That's the problem. Oh, man. All right, that's an ugly. Tyler, you got an ugly?
Yeah, I have an ugly here, and I'm gonna, I guess, kind of piggyback and pivot off of DiNardo's ugly of Colin Moran going down. And my ugly is gonna be just having to watch Eric Gonzalez play first base and bat every day. One, because that guy's glove's too good to be wasted at first base. And if his bat's going to be as bad as it is, I don't want him playing a corner infield position. And two, that at bat earlier today, he watched, 3 sliders in the same exact spot and swung at every single one of them the same exact way. And I thought, holy shit, we suck.
Well, we know.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned
fastball.
You know how I mentioned that, Kevin Newman was the worst hitter in baseball. Well, guess who's number 3? Arrogance. He's number 3, baby. Number 3.
He just swung aimlessly at the same pitch over and over and over. Like, are you a professional hitter or not? I should know that answer by now.
He's not.
The answer is no. Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're that bad of a hitter, I don't want you to be wasted at first base when your glove's actually useful.
No, that's a very good point because he does have a really good glove.
Yeah, and his defense has
Really
been excellent this year. But again, like, where do you? I mean, I don't know. Now that Moran's back and that Evans is back,
Well, Moran.
I think Moran's back. He's day to day, but I think Eric Gonzalez is squarely in the. Does he deserve a roster spot anymore?
So we're talking about Eric Gonzalez, talking about Kevin Newman. You're already worried about Cole Tucker. For all this, we have so many middle infielders, so many shortstops. Sounds like we don't have any of them right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm playing Cole Tucker at this point. Screw it.
I would just put him in left field or put him in left or center and Kai Tom see ya. I'd rather watch Cole Tucker go 0 for 4.
I could care less who it is going 0 for 4. One of them, whoever it is going 0 for 4.
They are, but I'll take the younger one that's going to go 0 for 4.
I
With
get it.
at least
I get it.
with at least the middle infield versatility.
Kai Tom, though, will go 0 for 3 with a walk. So, you got that.
The one thing is at least Kevin Newman. Again, like Newman's defense is very elite with this club. And again, the emphasis on defense. We talk about young pitchers. Yes, the bat is garbage. But with the defense, I'll at least slide and let him stay there for this year. But I don't know. I mean, he could be a candidate of not being on this team next year.
I think you can say that about 5 positions on the diamond.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Jim said, talking about this roster crunch they could have next year, I don't think it's going to be that difficult of an issue for them to figure out.
It's not much of a crunch.
Right. There's a lot of people.
It's like throwing the grape Skittles out or whatever.
What?
You suck.
The
I don't
grape
do
ones?
grape. I hate grape.
Grape's elite.
It's a bad take.
Man. The cherry out of here.
The red's always the best.
Red sucks.
Like,
Red's
it's like
garbage.
grape Gatorade, grape Powerade, all terrible.
Grape is elite. So the moment you were 2 years old taking Dimetap, grape was elite.
Nope. I leave the purple with everything. It's
No, I'm with
gross.
Tyler on this one. Grape is probably the last flavor I'm going with in most products.
Terrible. Where is? Oh well. Anyways, what are we talking? Is it on me now? The ugly.
On you.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So my ugly, and you did bring him up. We're going Guy Tom. It's ugly. It is ugly. It is ugly. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of seeing it. Tom is not an MLB player. Tom is not having a good season. Tom doesn't belong. Tom isn't underrated. Tom's nothing but the guy who's here now until he's not going to be here now. You know, he was saved by Defo getting DFA'd first. He's out the door here soon. He's not good. As we mentioned, like, okay, he gets on base. Great. But he's getting on base at an elite level that he's never got on base before. So that's not sustainable. And what are we seeing now? Let's come back down to earth. What can't Tom still do? He still can't hit. He's got to get on base just by a walk. This series, he's 0 for 7 with a walk. He had 3 strikeouts yesterday. The guy's not good. I'm sorry, but he's not good. A guy that can bat 118 and have a 10 or 11% walk rate still is a very, very below average hitter. And right now, his for the season is at a 60 weighted run created plus. Yes, that includes obviously the time in the athletics, which I don't know why we just automatically discount it. But even with the Pirates, he's above average. He's below 90. Like he's going downhill rather fast because his walk rate's going down rather fast. So he's not that good. It's pretty ugly. It's
like a worse version of Jeff Decker.
God.
That's a good comp. I mean, I don't know. He may actually be better than Jeff Decker.
I don't know. Jeff actually walked a lot more.
I literally burned that player out of my brain. If you asked me to name 2,000 Pirates, I probably wouldn't have named him right now.
I mean, going back to the whole walking thing, right? He's only walked once. It's June 10th now. He's only walked once this month. So the walk rate's going down.
Which was yesterday.
He has one hit this month. So yeah, he's bad. He's not good at all.
And as we point out, like and a lot of his, on base, like he's gotten hit 5 times so far this year as well. In 99 plate appearances, he's got hit 5 times. So, he's got like the Starling Marte, Josh Harrison effect to him. Plus he walks, but he can't hit, period.
That's 50 points on base percentage, those 5 hit by pitches. Yeah.
There you go. Like, this isn't sustainable at all. And you're finding out now that it's not sustainable. So this is what Tom is. Is this what you want on your team? Is this what you feel is a good outfielder? No.
Also, we should have made that play. I don't care if Greg Brown says that it would have been one of the best players ever in PNC Park. He needs to make that play. Ball hit your glove. Hit it. Catch it.
I'm not gonna hold that against them. It would have been an absolutely incredible play.
It would have been fine. It was in his glove. Catch it.
It would have been incredible.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I grew up in the backyard jumping over fences, grabbing the ball at grandma's house.
It would not have been a fine play. It would have been an incredible play.
And you know what you can always count on after something like that happens? The Brian Giles highlight to pop up.
Oh yeah.
Every single time. But once again, back at grandma's house, I was jumping over her fence, snagging home runs, throwing them myself. I would have caught it. So mark that down as another athletic feat of mine.
I'm just going to put out there, if you're going to say that, though, then you gotta dig on Bryan Reynolds for not making those 2 plays in center field the other day when he dove laid out.
Oh, no.
They touched his glove.
Nope. No, they were not in his glove.
Oh, okay. All right. Whatever.
Be stronger than the wall, Kai.
All right, Jim. What's your... Oh, we're done.
Here you go.
Yeah,
oh,
we're
thank
done.
God. That was ugly. Okay.
That was depressing.
This is very depressing. At least,
maybe we need to not do that anymore. It just depresses me.
Well, I was gonna say, at least our bad and uglies before were kind of funny, with Greg and all, but this time was a little depressing. What else do we want to talk about here? Let's talk about this Dodgers series. I mean, obviously the Pirates went 0-3. Wasn't good in the win-loss. But what I'll say, every game, it didn't really, I don't want to say out of hand, because even the first one kind of got out of hand. I mean, I know they came back, but it wasn't also to there was a lot of stupid errors that we talked about, mental shit that took place. Every game was okay. Does that make sense? Is that kind of your vibe on that at all? They didn't look terrible. It's the Dodgers we're talking about. You felt it would be 11-0
at all.
Right.
They didn't get embarrassed, but I mean, at the same time, that's such a loser's mentality.
They're a major league team.
at least
every game was winnable. That's where we're at. I'm still feeling these ugly vibes.
We
Sorry.
Had fun. It was the most important part is that we all had fun.
Let me put on my Bob Lowe hat. I just hope both teams have fun. Go NFL.
I mean, they got swept by the Dodgers. The Dodgers were the far better team. That was expressed through pretty much every part of the game. Pirates were making mistakes on the base paths. Pirates were making mistakes in the field. The Pirates pitchers couldn't get out of the third inning. I mean, the Dodgers were the better team. I think the bullpen definitely helped to make the games closer, right? I mean, the Pirates bullpen has pitched pretty good the past week or so, so that at least allowed the games to not get out of control. But yeah, the Dodgers they're a lot better.
It's hard to get excited when we got 3 guys on this team that might be part of the next contender. So even making a series close is like, well, he'll be gone. 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 Down the line, maybe 4. I'll include Bednar, but that's it.
Well, what about that guy today who said, "Oh, Bednar looks good"?
Yeah, he might not be part of it.
We should just take him from the Pirates.
Yeah. Yeah, because we want to be perennial losers by trading the only good young players we have.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I got involved in that a little bit here too, as well, and it just, yeah, his take on that was just, it was just weird. Because of course he had to go in. It was Mike from Illinois pointed out, mostly like, you know, calling him out for like how dumb of a take it was. You know, like, why would we trade him at this point in time? You know, it makes sense to hang on to him. And the guy responded back like, "Oh yeah, that's worked out really well for you guys in the past." Ha ha ha. You know, of course, pointing to the Felipe situation.
I wish they would have taken him.
You know, and I'm just like, I mean, for real, you're gonna troll us for that one situation, as if the Pirates haven't done like fantastic with their bullpen, managing, keeping guys here, trading them, you know, when they should have. And it's like, yeah, I mean, why? Especially this guy apparently writes for some Dodgers thing, like Lakers and Dodgers. So if you're writing for the Dodgers, why would you even think that Bednar is available? Oh yeah, well it's because
on the show.
You know, years of control adds to value. So they'd be looking to trade him. What are you we're going to trade everyone? Like if they're rebuilding, you got to have guys here to play baseball. Also, you can't just trade everybody. Like
and
why would you trade for this guy and then trade him away 2 months later?
Obviously, you're not a very good baseball writer if
that's
you don't realize that nobody gives anything for bullpen pieces anymore.
And it's like having 6 years of control doesn't add that much value. No one cares about that anymore. If it's like 3, yeah, but no one's going to give you 6 years of control of value in return for Bednar. Like they're not getting the value of Bednar at this point in time.
No.
He's way more valuable on this club than he's going to be in a trade chip. So that's why point blank, it's stupid to even entertain the fact that Bednar is getting traded unless someone's going to give like a top 2 prospect in the system. And that ain't happening.
Yeah. And that team would be stupid. We need to pull a Michael Duarte and bring this guy on.
Right. I mean, you're basically trading a prospect for a prospect at this point in time. That's how fresh this guy is into the league.
Yeah. Or what about the Washington Nationals fan? The Nationals guy who said if the Nationals are rebuilding, they should go after Bryan Hayes.
Okay. Give us Soto?
That's what I was like. I mean, if you're willing to part with Soto, then okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I'd take that deal.
Yes, please.
I don't know if I would.
I mean, honestly, I don't know where Tyler's going with this. It wouldn't make sense.
I know what you're saying, but
because
no, I wouldn't think twice. I would take that deal before someone when Washington understood what they were doing.
That's the guy I would trade for, and then 2 months later retrade because he's not going to be on this club when they're good. He's going to get outpriced.
Fair enough.
No, he's a guy that you trade for, and then you give him a $400 million deal.
Right, but that's also not happening. So
it could.
No, you give him the $400 million deal, and then you still trade him.
My favorite right now is all the outrage about Nutting selling. Everyone wants Nutting to sell a team now, like they haven't before, but every time Pat McAfee posts something, it gets a lot of traction. Right now is like the one time that they're doing something correct. They're actually rebuilding. They're not going to be good right now. Shut the hell up.
If we're airing our grievances, can we bring back up about the whole Bryan Reynolds situation? Because I think this is a good topic to talk about because they're unlike the Bednar, and like Bryan Hayes getting traded to the Nationals, which I don't know what the hell the Nationals could give the Pirates in return for Bryan Hayes. I think there are some actual pros and cons to this. You can argue this side. It might be weighted one way or another, but we can argue this. So, Bryan Reynolds is a free agent come 2026.
Yes. Yep.
He's in his 3rd season. He's done very well. All right. Now, granted, as we mentioned, last year was very bad, but that's the anomaly. That's the weird season. I just pretend that didn't exist. You know, that's not Bryan Reynolds. What Bryan Reynolds is 2019 and 2021. It's been a very good Bryan Reynolds. Are we looking to? I think we're on board. We're looking. You would want to extend him. Are we? Is he extended? candidate?
I think he's somebody that you definitely try to sign for you buy out his arbitration years and then a year of free agency and then like tack on 2 option years, kind of.
Guys in rookie ball.
Right. I mean, if you're talking about 55 future value players, then you're essentially talking about a top 50 prospect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like if the Blue Jays come calling and they say, "Hey, we'll give you Austin Martin for Bryan Reynolds,"
Not another shortstop.
right? but like if they offer that, then it's like, you know what, that might not be too bad. I don't know. I don't think that happens. I don't think anybody's giving up that much value.
And I think that's the problem here. I'm fully with you, Jim. And I think this is the situation. And I think that's what's going to present as a problem. You always listen. If you're a GM, you're always going to listen. You're never going to hang up a phone. You're never going to not entertain a phone call. Okay, unless it's maybe Dombrowski. maybe with him. But if someone calls and they want to entertain a trade for Bryan Reynolds, you're going to listen. But I don't, like you said, Jim, I don't think that the team's going to be willing to part with what it's going to take for the Pirates to say, yes, that makes sense. Because he is good, he is young, he still has control and such. But I do believe there presents a little bit of an issue here. And it is the timing. Okay, so we really need to know when Cherington plans to contend. So let's also think about this. The draft, we always thought was going to be Leiter or Rocker, right? With Leiter or Rocker, they're going to be up here in a few years, 2022, 2023. Boom, they're here. There's potentially ready to compete at that point in time, right? The way the draft's looking now, and it seems as the way people are talking about the Pirates, the way they want to pick, it's a high school shortstop. Okay? That's going to take time to get here. Like, you're not going to see the returns on it. By the time that player makes the major leagues, there's a good chance Reynolds is gone. So I guess the caveat here and what people are saying, right? And to Nesbitt that said it, if you don't get to extend Bryan Reynolds, wouldn't it make sense to trade him? Unless they do think, now you said 2024, Jim, unless they do feel 2023 is the case. Because also think about Brian Hayes in his window. Like, he's a free agent in 2027. So you have him till 2026 and then Reynolds till 2025, right? If you're not competing till 24, that's 2 years of Reynolds, 3 years of Hayes. And let's think about how the way the Pirates operate. It's probably 1 year of Reynolds and 2 years of Hayes. Are you really looking at a 2-year window with Brian Hayes and your team to compete? Like, that's where some of these situations come in. So there was a lot of people hating on it. I'm not going to hate on entertaining that thought. But I do think it is an issue if we're waiting until 2024, 2025 to compete. Because you've wasted a lot of Hayes years and almost every one of Reynolds years.
I think there's also something to be said about what's the value looking like right now of trading them compared to, say, like they're probably going to do in the last 2 years of their contract. Is it really that much different? I don't think it is, to be honest. Especially because you'd be trading them. Yeah, they're young, but Reynolds will be in his prime. Hayes will be in his prime. Someone's going to be trading for him to look for them to lock up. So do you get one less player? Maybe, but you also get a lot fewer years of Hayes and Reynolds, and then we're pushing that competing time out by 2026, and at that point, God, how much longer can we wait?
I get it. But that's why I think there's definitely a lot of pressure on Cherington to ensure by 2023, like, this team they're at least there. They might not be playoff material, of course, and I don't know if I anticipate that, but they're at least competitive. Because if that waits till 2024, that, like, the core arrives and starts playing together, and it's 2025 they're competing, that's too late. These guys are done. And why has Hayes been here? And Reynolds, I don't think you're extending Hayes at all. At all. I do think there could be hope on Reynolds still. So that could be the difference. And maybe it's worth it to the Pirates to pony up and say, here, Reynolds, here's some money.
I mean, I think it's definitely not like a stupid idea. Like, it's not a laughable thing. I think you listen to it, but again, I think you still have to, like, you've got to get significant return if you're going to do that. And I don't know if there's a trade partner out there who is willing to do that for, I mean, what is essentially going to be probably a corner outfielder on a good team.
And that's very fair because he is a corner outfielder. Mm-hmm. Now, he has played center, right? You pointed out Jim as well. Like, he's played a very passable center. He could play center for you if need be, but he's not a center fielder. But he's also not a corner outfielder with, like, a big thumping bat. I mean, he's still a good player.
He's a good player. Yeah, he's good. Every team would like to have him. I mean, there's not going to be a team who would say, we don't want him.
No, he don't hit enough bombs. We don't want him. He's not fat.
It is interesting, though. I just have worries about this rebuild still. I do. Like, I like a lot of it, but I still have worries, and this is part of it.
I'm worried that it's going to take too damn long.
And that's the real worrying concern, because if it does take too damn long,
I just don't want to wait.
You've wasted a lot of this.
I mean, this is 2 players.
So trade them.
I know.
Like, that's the argument, Like, that's the thing. So trade them.
I know, but I mean, even if you look back to, like, what, 2011, 2012. It was Kutch, Pedro, Walker. There wasn't anything else, and I guess it worked out. And there's still stuff in the minor leagues that could come sooner rather than later. I mean, Peguera's there, Cruz there. You pray that Keller can somehow figure out how to be a major league competitive starter. But yeah, I mean, 2023, I think, still is the hopeful start of at least showing that they're competitive.
I think it has to be. Like that's where the worry is. It has to be. It has to be 2023. I think it's absolutely attainable, but it has to.
I even think next year you at least try to make this team not suck. To be honest, like I don't think it's wise in any way to throw Brian Hayes out there on a team that is essentially supposed to suck. Like you've got this dude, and he's going
to ruin that for you single-handedly.
Yeah. So like I think you've got to give him at least some help this offseason, just no matter what. And I mean, I don't care. I mean, do 1-year deals for guys, but like if Hayes is going to be this guy and Reynolds is going to be kind of like his right-hand man, you're good enough to at least be 500. And being 500 means you're good enough to be in the wild card race most of the season. I think they kind of owe it to them. Like if you're going to be that good, like you can't just put shit around them. Like you've got to give them something. And the payroll, I mean, especially Polanco's leaving after this year. How much payroll do we have for next year? Our payroll is going to start off at like $28 million. So like you're going to have all this cash that you can go out there and spend on a second baseman, a shortstop, maybe a real right fielder, and I'm not talking about like somebody's going to go out there and mash the ball, but it's pretty easy to go out there and find a
corner outfielders are cheap.
Corner outfielder, like
first basemen are cheap.
Yeah, like there are tons of corner outfielders out there who can hit 25 homers and put up a weighted runs created plus of 110, and they're super cheap, right? So like those people are out there. It's just a matter of going and getting them. And I think even next year, like I said, I don't think next year you're going to win anything, but I think you've got to put at least a better product on the field next year to at least show that you're sort of trying. And then I do think 2023 is that year where, your core group of guys who you hope to develop into a playoff contender, that's when they arrive.
Not to mention just showing a little bit of something next year. If you're really going after extensions for your big two, you got to show them something.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to want to sign with you if they feel like you just aren't even going to try. So.
Mm-hmm. And I'm with you on there. Like this season, I'm perfectly okay with them just being awful. I think this season is more important to experience. I'll put it that way. You're putting guys out there. You're seeing what they have. You're giving everyone. You're letting the kids play, right? It's when you're in T-ball and everyone gets 3 innings of playtime. You're evaluating this year, and do it and suck and you're good. But I think for more importantly, maybe not more importantly, maybe equally important. Like you said, giving those guys some help around them. I think also on top of that is if you are going to be good in 2023, you can't be terrible in 2022. Like how can you try to like gain 30 games like in a year? You know what I mean? Like you're expecting a lot. If you're that bad in 2022 next year, I think that's what I'm going to do. If you're going to be terrible in 2022, how can you expect to be trying to compete in 2023? So again, you're looking at it's not happening until 2024. So that's part of it. Like this team has to. It's not even so much that they owe it to Hayes. They have to be better next year. Has to.
Yeah. And again, they're going to have the money that they can do it.
Yes. This is going to be a very, very interesting offseason because that's going into that too, Jim. Like we've seen we've seen Cherington with the trades. We've seen Cherington the rebuilds of getting prospects and such. We haven't seen so much Cherington how he operates with free agents. You know, signing guys in that sense. I mean, the guys he signed this year was more or less just guys. We need a player. We need someone to pitch, right? I mean, geez, we signed Cahill like a week before the weekend of spring training, you know, or something like that. 3 weeks into it, whatever it was. So, you know, I'm also interested now this upcoming offseason to see what he's going to do on the free agent market. What are guys that he's going to target to be on this team? We saw what Neil Huntington did. And it worked out early on. Like, they had a plan. They had a game plan. It worked out very well for Neil Huntington, the free agent guys he signed on. So now we're going to find out and see what Cherington does. And that's going to have to start this upcoming offseason.
Yeah, I think you still look for like the lottery ticket types that you can still flip at the deadline if need be, if everything goes wrong. But like we wanted this year, you need a little bit better lottery tickets that could actually help you if things aren't going correctly. So the Todd Fraziers of the world, probably not. But more like you guys were saying, the first baseman that's going to, you know, hit 25 home runs, put up a 110 WRC plus, and a guy that you can flip at the deadline if need be, but he's also going to help the team. Not a bench bat.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And those people are available.
Like Robbie Grossman, 113 way to run career plus, 1 WAR this season.
Yeah. And the other thing too, like going into next year, you're going to have a lot of like big ticket free agents. So, you know, you can kind of have the big teams can kind of swallow up those guys. And there's plenty of, you know, second tier free agents that are going to be available to you. I mean, just looking at first base, right? Because that's going to be a position you may want to upgrade on, right? You're probably not going to get Rizzo. You're probably not going to get Freeman, right? But like CJ Cron is a free agent. CJ Cron's someone who you bring in and he hits 30 bombs, right? And
for
like
$5 million.
Right. It's like those people are going to be available. Brandon Belt is going to be a free agent, right? So like people like that, where they're not going to be earth shattering by any means, but they're going to be productive major league hitters. And just, they're going to be upgrades. Corner outfield, I mean, the list goes on and on. Looking at these outfielders, they're all over the place, right? So you're going to have a lot of people out there who are available. And I think you got to go get some. And you're going to, like I said, you're going to have the money because
2.
Oh, it's happening, but
I do not miss talking about that.
they're actually going to sign him a contract tomorrow. They're giving him one now. It's a 10-year deal.
I mean, Super 2, Bryan Reynolds will be Super 2 next year. Speaking of. But, yeah.
So, I mean, you pray for Yahuri to hurry.
Mm-hmm.
Pray Mitch Keller gets better somehow.
Again, if Keller could just turn into, hell, even a 4th starter, that would be great at this point.
And sadly, that's where we're at. Like the ace, if he can be a 4th starter, at least have a rotation next year.
Then aside from that, though, you're kind of waiting a little while.
So we've
Which
talked
is
about
why it wouldn't be bad to take a college freaking arm. That's a song for another time.
I get it. But if
I
this
know,
guy's
take
going
the
to be
best
that
player
much
available.
better, I get that too.
I know. If we take a college arm, they're going to get Tommy John too. So
let's go round back. So of course we're talking about the future. We're talking about prospects. Adam Frazier. Adam Frazier and the White Sox. I mean, everyone's talking about it now. He is like they're clones. They would be replacing the same player. Like they get Adam Frazier, it's the same player. Well, but better at least at this point in time. Is Adam Frazier to the White Sox going to happen? What do you guys think? And if so, is there stuff for the Pirates to look at?
I don't think the White Sox happen. I don't think the White Sox have the piece to complete an Adam Frazier deal.
Do you
we're
think
trying to look up some
mean, compare
a creative Cherington? Like these are some guys in low A that aren't getting a lot of love right now, but next year you'll hear a lot about them.
I just feel like there are other teams who also could use Adam Frazier who can easily outbid the White Sox. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, that's fair. It's a good thing, though. I mean, it's an awful thing.
Yeah.
Let me start off. It's an awful thing.
It's awful for Madrigal. Yeah, right.
But there's a true market heating up for Adam Frazier. Like something's gonna go right. I feel like for the Pirates. There's an actual market heating up for Adam Frazier. You're going to have teams wanting and bidding against Adam Frazier. And you might actually get some real value because it's going to come down to the highest bidder, potentially. There's a real need for Adam Frazier among a lot of teams.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be a few teams that are interested in him. And, pit them against each other and see who can give you the best package.
Yeah, I'm just out here trying to figure out a proper trade in my simulator.
Does he bring back like a top 100 prospect?
I think he can, depending on the situation. Yeah.
I don't think that's that far off either. This is
again, I think it kind of depends on. Yeah, I think it depends on the situation. Like if they want to go that route where they get a top 100 prospect, and you're probably not getting like a whole much else than that. Do they want to do that, or do they want to maybe pick up a bunch of guys who could potentially be top 100 prospects in a year?
So I want you guys. I'm gonna ask you this. I want you guys to put on your GM hat, right? Do you want in this deal, right? With this situation we have, like this is the club you have, right? It's the Pittsburgh Pirates and everything. Are you trying to trade Adam Frazier to get a package like the Tyone, Musgrove? Of course, not to that extent, but the package, like you mentioned. Or is it time to try to go, let's get this air quote stud? It's not gonna be like a top 10 prospect, obviously, in baseball, but like, let's get this top tier guy, the one guy.
I mean, if you can get a top tier guy, sure, I'll take the top tier guy. But
so we're talking like, can he get
a
top 100 prospect I think it's possible. So say, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of spitballing here. I mean, just trying to find some guys, but like if it's the number 90th prospect in baseball, I don't know.
I mean, I think like if we're looking at trade partners, I think as of right now, you got to think that like the Yankees are still the most ideal fit, right?
So the Yankees.
I
So
think
Clark Schmidt, number 74 prospect. Well, yeah, he's 25 in MLB at this point.
Like if I'm looking at the Yankees, I'm looking at people like
Garcia.
I mean, that would be great. I don't know if the Yankees are going to part with Garcia just because he's actually pitching for them right now too. But like somebody like maybe do something where you're getting Vargas or Medina or Alcantara along with like Gomez, right? I don't know, something like that. I don't think you're getting someone like Peraza for Frazier. Like you're not getting that high, but I think the Yankees definitely have like that depth that you want to see. Like they've got a bunch of guys in kind of that 50 to 150 range. If you were going to like make a top 150 prospect list, like they're loaded in that area. So I think if you could pick up like two of those guys, I think that's like an ideal situation.
I think they're also in a spot though where they can take, like maybe if it wasn't a top 100 guy and they had to go more of a, I guess, lottery ticket type guy, they can always get a guy that's closer to the majors that might be undervalued and then go for that lottery ticket type.
Yeah, it's interesting. So that hasn't really been Cherington's MO, right? Maybe that was
more of a Neil
thing.
Huntington.
Yeah, like Huntington would do that. Cherington far has been.
He kind of did with Musgrove with Bednar, but
yeah, and that was like a minor piece though. I feel like in the deal, but I feel like Cherington is getting a lot of these guys who were more, they're flyers, and you're just kind of hoping that they develop. Whereas Huntington was going after those guys who were either like borderline right there on the cusp, or they were already in the majors and just hadn't really had the chance yet. Those were kind of Huntington's guys. So I don't know, honestly. Like, I mean, if you're looking at somebody like that, then yeah, Debbie Garcia kind of fits the mold, right? But I don't know if the Yankees would be willing to give that up, because I mean the Yankees need pitching too. So I don't know if they'd be giving up a piece that is going to start games for them this year. I think he's already started a few.
We'll package in Tyler Anderson, call it a day. That's what it takes.
Please. Tyler Anderson's getting us the top 100.
That's another one. We didn't talk about him today, but I mean, he pitched well enough, I felt like yesterday.
Anderson's the type that's going to get you. He's going to get you what Jim just described.
If you're a team going to the playoffs, he's going to coast and get your team to the playoffs and then go to the bullpen or not be on the roster. And that's fine. You're going to need, for the Yankees, everyone's injured. Like, he's going to be on the team, like, for the whole year. He's going to get you innings. And today. And now, you're in the playoffs. You did what you needed. Now bring in the horses.
My hope with Anderson is more of like a Tony Watson type deal where you get maybe a no-deal Cruz.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be like ideal.
Yeah. I just bring this up because, again, I am interested. Like, we've seen his MO, Cherington, right? But it's like, at one point, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but like, at one point, do you stop getting all this quantity and filling up all this with flyers and you go, this guy's good, let's get him because we're ready to start this? Like that Garcia type is what I'm getting at. Let's get him in here. Tyler's worried about pitching for next year. Garcia can be in there. Like, he's a pitcher next year. He might not be top end. He might not be a start, the ace, but he's a mid-rotation type of guy. He made it to the majors. We have something here. Let's move forward. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you do that quite yet. I think you're still trying to fill the pipe, but
yeah,
maybe next year looking at it.
Agreed. I think the only way you kind of, if you're going to pick up somebody who's going to kind of be on the major league team, right? You're looking at guys more like Will Crow, just like depth guys who are just going to be there for a few years as placeholders. Deivi Garcia doesn't really fit that, I don't think. Like Deivi Garcia is somebody where like if you get him right now, he probably hops into the rotation and he could potentially be your best starter. Like that's how good he is, I think. And I don't know if they're ready to do that yet, because then you're going to fall into the same boat that you're in with like Reynolds, where you're like, okay, well now we've got Deivi Garcia. In 2 years from now, do we start paying him or do we trade him again? Right before we're competing.
And that's kind of mindset. Like, so you have Garcia, so in 2023 you are ready to compete, whereas the guys they traded for are now in AA or AAA. Again, this is the mindset. I don't know. Like,
yeah, I don't know. We're just
the best trade is
right
probably
now,
what you should do. But I'm just wondering, but if you had the option, you value them both the same. Do you go for the haul or do you go for the guy who's?
I would much rather have a dude than a crop of people who have talent,
which could turn into Contreras. And
but a dude is like a dude,
right? And that's kind of where I'm at. Like I feel as if there's a lot. Maybe we have another draft coming that's going to fill this, pipeline even further. So I kind of want to. Frazier's giving a lot of value right now. So I never would have expected us talking about the possibility of a top 100 prospect, or a good, solid, top prospect in someone's system. But here we are, and it's not even silly to talk about it. So again, that's kind of where I'm pivoting here, wondering, because again, going back to these concerns, does Cherington stay the MO? Get a bunch of single A, maybe some AA guys, a few of them, or does he say like this guy's in AAA, he's a dude, let's get him to start getting these guys up here next year. So that's all.
You got to acquire as much talent as you can and go from there, at least right now.
Oh, cool. Anything else we wanted to touch on?
I'm good.
There it is.
All right. Well, then, with that said, we will see you next week. That special podcast we talked about is not happening, but will happen hopefully next week. So it's coming, guys. Don't worry. When it's official, we'll announce it. So with that being said, we're out of here. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Is that a Girl Scouts?
Later.